In this lesson, we're going to be implementing the Twilio API library to send SMS messages for our scheduled reminders. To get started, first you need to create a Twilio account. So if you go to twilio.com, you can do the sign up, like the typical sign up process. But what I've done here is I've pasted this URL. It's twilio.com/docs/quickstart. And it just shows you how to get started with a programmable SMS account. So if you, like, for instance, if I click on Python, it gives you some quick breakdowns on how it should work. And it says, sign up for your Twilio account and make sure you have an SMS enabled Twilio phone number, which is something you configure within there. But you can just go show me how it's done, and you can see all these steps. It'll show you exactly how to do it. It says buy a number, but you get a test account initially, and I don't believe the phone number costs any money. And even if it does, I believe it's only $1 if that's something you're interested in, but that's up to you. And then you can just continue following these steps. And then what we'll do after you've done that is we're going to take your API credentials that are mentioned here on the side, your SID and your auth token, which will be created during your setup process. And we're going to add that to our application. So you can go ahead and set up your account now. Once your account's complete, you can continue on with the video, and we'll jump straight into implementing the API library. So let's get started on that. Let's switch over to our code, and in our editor, we're going to open up our settings.py file. I'm just going to clean up here real quick so that we don't have a mess. There we go. Okay, so open up your settings.py file, and we're going to add two new settings to the base configuration. The first one is going to be Twilio auth ID, and we're going to make that equal to an environmental variable, the same way that we've been doing previously, and we'll call that one Twilio auth ID, just like that. And then we're going to make another one. I'll just duplicate that, and this one's going to be called auth token, and then the same right here, token. Okay, so hit save on that. Now, actually, before we switch over, we might as well put in two more of the settings while we're here. So let's go Twilio Twilio to number, and this is going to be equal to an environment variable, which is going to be the number that we're going to be sending it to. So this will be Twilio to number, and we'll just copy that down, and then from number, and this is, again, it's just going to be the from number. So this will be your Twilio SMS number that you just created in your account, and the to number is going to ultimately be the phone number that you want to send the text message reminders to. So let's switch over to our shell, and we're going to set those environment variables the same way we always do. We're just going to go, we're going to go echo export, and then it's going to be Twilio auth ID. We're going to set that to whatever your Twilio authorization SID is, so some string. And then we're going to add that to the environment reminders bin activate, like that. And then you're going to go and you're going to do that for each one. So it's going to be auth ID, auth token. It's going to be Twilio to number, and that's going to be the number that you want to send your SMS messages to, and then it's going to be the from number, which is the Twilio, your new SMS phone number from Twilio. Okay, so once those are added, we're going to reactivate our virtual environment activation script. So we're going to reminders bin activate, and then that'll reset those, or it'll apply those exports of the environment variables. So once you've done that, we need to install the Twilio API library, and to do that we're going to use pip. So let's go pip install Twilio. Okay, that looks like it's installed successfully. So now let's just test that it's working. So we'll open up a shell with Python, and we'll just go import Twilio. Okay, so that looks like it's working. So we'll drop out of that shell, and I'm just going to clear this out real quick. And now we can go over and we can attempt to implement our Twilio library. So let's switch over to our editor, and we're going to open up the tasks file. Now in this tasks file is where we're going to do our API call. Right here in where our to-do message is where ultimately we're going to be sending it. But first we need to do a little bit of configuration so that we can set up our library. So we need to import Twilio. So let's go up here and we'll go from Twilio import, twilio.rest, import client, and client is a class, so you'll notice it's capitalized. And down within our send reminders function, we need to create a client when the task is called. So we'll go client is equal to client, and then the client class is going to take two parameters for its constructor. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our Twilio auth ID and our Twilio auth token settings from our application context. So to do that, we're going to use the current app that we've imported previously, and this just gives us access to the actual application object that the current instance of this is running in. So what we do is we go here, we go current app.config, and then we go Twilio auth underscore ID, comma, and we're going to do one more, which is going to be the same thing, but it's going to be Twilio auth token. Okay, so those are our two API credentials, and together those will provide us with a client that is authorized to access our Twilio account through the Twilio REST API. So next we need to do something with our client. So let's get rid of this to-do message. We know this is where we want to send our SMS message. So let's use the client, and we'll go messages, and we'll go create, and then we're going to go from underscore. We're going to set this equal to our Twilio from or number from environment variable. So we're going to go current app.config, and it's going to be Twilio from number, and we're going to do this with 2 as well. So let's go down, duplicate it, we'll change this to 2, and then we want to set this to the 2 environment variable, and then we're going to do one additional field, and this additional field is going to be the reminders message. So we'll go body, and we'll set that equal to reminder, and I believe it's message, but let me check real quick. Let's open up models just to make sure. Yeah, okay, so it's the message field. So let's go back to task, and we're going to set it to reminder.message, which is going to be the reminder message field that we've set. Okay, so let's hit save on that. I just want to fix some of this formatting. I prefer to have it like this. There we go. Okay, so that looks good. I don't see any linter errors, which is a good sign. And I'm just going to do a quick check on our settings to make sure that that's the correct notation. So Twilio to number and Twilio from number. Twilio to number and Twilio from number. Okay, so that looks good. So this all looks good. The next step is for us to test it. So let's switch over to our browser, and let's create a scheduled reminder that's going to send out definitely. So let's go. It's got to be a good one, right? So go hello world. This is the end of the SMS Reminders series. Congrats. Okay. And then we'll just set it, let's see here, it's 12:04 right now, so let's just set it to 12 o'clock. And then when I hit create, it'll create our reminder for us, and it'll be ready to go as soon as the celery beat ticks. So I'll pause now, and then I'll just wait for that tick, and then we'll take a look at what happens. Okay, so the celery beat ticked, so now we just need to refresh and see what happened. So it says delivered, and we've got a sent on date, so that looks really good. Now to check my phone and see what happened. So just checking my phone, it looks like the text message was sent successfully. So what I've done is just I've just snapped it as an image off my phone and made it available here for us to take a look at. So let's just okay, there you go. So you can see, hello world, this is the end of the SMS Reminders series. Congrats. So the text message sent successfully. It used our Twilio API appropriately. All our credentials are good, and it looks like it works. So last but not least, we need to commit our progress. So let's switch over to our shell, and we're going to let me get a tab that actually works here. There we go. We need to make a git commit. So let's go git status, git add all, and then git commit. And our message is added Twilio. Actually, let's go integrated Twilio API. And there we go. So I hope you enjoyed working through this project. The SMS Reminders app is it's a great portfolio piece, and it's a great way to practice your Python web development skills and build those skills out. I just want to congratulate anybody that started from the beginning and finished all the way to the end. And yeah, thanks for hanging in there.